The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Greider. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing week, and I'm excited to be connecting with you here as we are leaning into June. And as I take a moment and pause, we take a breath together. We're actually about halfway through the year. And this is a good moment in time, and I think during the summer months, it's the summer here in the States, that it's a great time to just pause and check in and see if we look back over this past half a year, have we been moving forward on those things that matter most to us? Or are we feeling stuck in certain areas? And I find it so easy to get caught up in the busyness. A lot of what we're experiencing right now, if we look at the season for us here in the United States, we've just gone through, or we're finishing up the graduations parts where our children are graduating from school and transitioning. We're moving into the holiday months and wedding seasons. So it's kind of taking this different shift of energy that we tend to have during the summer. And then a lot of times, we'll take vacations, holidays, and that sort of thing will take place. And I think it's important as we're going through these transitions that we're remembering to take a breath for ourselves, to pause and really check in. Are we showing up? Are we shining in our life? I always like to look at the summer months, June and July, as a time to lean into our summer star power. Are we really shining? Are we fully showing up in our lives, bringing our gifts and talents and abilities to the world? Or have we gotten a little bit caught up in the busyness of things or in the different roles that we have within our life? I want to encourage you today, as we're going to be pouring into you to support you in getting unstuck, to enhance and increase your communication skills so that as you go back out in the world, you're able to go out in a way that's empowering you, that you are equipped and empowered to become unstuck, to be able to connect and communicate powerfully. So as we start our conversation today, I want you thinking about these things. And I've been doing a lot of reflection on this subject lately because I have my Summer Star event coming up. I do everything in themes. And we have our TV Guide magazine, which is now, it started as a publication and now it's become a full-scale magazine that's going to have an international distribution. And the theme of this issue is Summer Star, and it's going to be released in mid-June. So stay tuned for that. But as I've been reviewing the articles and all that has been written and contributed to this magazine, and I'm leaning into this upcoming event, Summer Star, and on top of that, we have our book coming out, inspired by how we close every show, Bloom Where You're Planted and Shine, that's going to be released in September. So all of these things have been coming together this first part of this month, and I've been reviewing the information, really sitting with, are we really checking in? Are we really making sure that we are shining? And what I mean by shining is that we are sharing the gift of who we are with others. And everything that we're building into the magazine, into this show today, into these books and the events are designed to help you shine, to help you show up powerfully in your life. But a key element in that is to do a check-in. You need to know kind of where you're at. Are you feeling like you're seen? Are you feeling like you are sharing your gifts and your talents and your abilities, that you're really being visible in your life? Or are you feeling perhaps hidden a little bit, or you're holding back a little bit, or not quite sure how to fully show up and be seen? That's the theme that you're going to be hearing from us throughout June and July. We're going to bring you different experts and materials to help you get unstuck, to help you really shine even more powerfully in your life. But this checking in is kind of feeling in, and where am I in that? And where do I want to be? Where do I want to shine even more? And that gives you direction to focus your energy. As we kind of check in halfway through the year, how do you want to be showing up or being seen or sharing another dimension of yourself, or even more of who you are in some way, some level, shining by the end of the year? This is a great point to kind of check in and see, where am I in that? Where do I want to be? It's not with criticism. It's not with judgment. It's with awareness. Because if we don't check in, we don't know where we are, it's really hard to lean into those things that can help us move forward or even recognize what we need. So let's start the show today checking in and really seeing what is it we need today. Those of you who are driving, please stay safe, both hands on the wheels, alert, no texting and driving, just inwardly tuning into our conversation, being fully present so you can fully receive what is here for you today. Because it's not an accident you're here, listening right now, this moment. There is something here to encourage, support, equip, and empower you today. So I celebrate that you're leaning into that. Those of you who are able to, let's go ahead and put both feet on the floor. Lean back in your chair, feel it supporting you. Roll your shoulders back, relax, and take a big breath, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth like through a straw. Wonderful. Go ahead and close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Keep breathing. This type of breathing will actually lower your cortisol levels, your stress levels, and help bring you very present and ready to receive. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit, eyes closed, continuing to breathe. And as we sink into what was shared with you in the opening segment of our show, looking at halfway through the year, kind of where are we perhaps getting stuck and wanting to move forward? Where could we shine more? How do we feel we are communicating and sharing that information? In light of all of that, what is it that you need today? What is it that will encourage, equip, and empower you to shine more fully, to move forward in those areas that matter most to you? What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Those are different two questions. So what we need and are willing to receive. Just lean in and listen to that information. Sometimes it'll come in a memory or a sound or a picture. We can get information all different kinds of ways, using all of our senses of feeling. However you're receiving that information, I invite you to receive it and feel into what it is that you need today, right now, that will encourage you, equip you, and empower you to shine more fully, to support you on the journey that you are willing to receive. Once you have that information, go ahead and come back into the room. Eyes open, fully present. Continuing to breathe. Beautiful. I invite you to write down whatever was placed on your heart that you are willing to receive. Let's keep it top of mind. It's really easy as the day progresses to forget what it is that we need and not recognize it when it may be right in front of us. I encourage you, write it down, keep it top of mind, be actively on the lookout for whatever it is that you need that will encourage you, that will equip you and empower you to shine more fully in your life. Beautiful. Let's take a breath together. Wonderful. And I'm going to go around our virtual room here. And as I do that, I have two amazing experts that are going to be pouring into us today. And I'm going to ask them each to share just about 30 seconds, something that was placed on their heart when we went in and listened, as we connect heart to heart, soul to soul, spirit to spirit for our conversation today. So with that, Jean, do you mind sharing something that was placed on your heart when we went within and listened?
Sure. When I had a picture of a globe that kind of popped up, and it had railroad tracks going all around it, intertwined and almost like a yarn ball, kind of a mess. But the word direction came very strongly through, and when I thought of that word direction, it was like one of the tracks just illuminated to indicate, here's the way to go.
Oh, I love that. So direction and clarity given. Beautiful, beautiful. And I love the global aspect. So reaching the world. Really beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
I'm happy to.
Beautiful. And Sandy, did you have something placed on your heart to share?
It was actually quite simple. It was just seeing the faces of people that I love. So just remembering love. Remembering what's important, remembering love.
I love that. Remembering love. Beautiful. So let's breathe that in together as we remember love. And there's a connecting with that love and that direction, and as a world that we really are connecting together right now, real time. We are connecting heart to heart all around the world. And I think what was placed on my heart is this desire to support each of you. I just, on my heart that's laid so heavily, is that each of you are so needed in this world. You're such a gift. And my desire for today is that you will be encouraged, that you will feel that love, that you will know that you are needed and valuable just as you are, just by being you, and that you are willing to share just a little bit more of who you are. I feel like that's the biggest gift that we can give the world. So let's take a breath together. Wonderful. Now, I want you to get the most out of our time together today, the most out of this show that is absolutely possible for you. And the way to do that is to have you be fully present, really ready to receive. And we have these magical things called commercial breaks that are 2 minutes long, and they're actually 2-minute moments just for you. They're just in disguise. So I invite you, instead of rushing off, trying to cross things off your to-do list, stay fully present. Listen, the commercials are there to support you. There's some wonderful updates and opportunities we want to let you know about. But even more than that, I want you to stay present during those 2 minutes and breathe and pause. Give yourself that gift and listen to what's being placed on your heart. Process what's being shared with you real time. And I promise you, by the end of the show, if you build that practice in, you're going to be integrating what's being shared real time and be able to bring that with you as you go back out into the world. Instead of adding things to your to-do list, you're able to process that right now, real time, as we're connecting with you around the world, supporting you heart to heart. So with that, we are going to step into our first commercial break, those 2 minutes just for you. As we do that, I invite you to stay present and really think about what was placed on your heart, what it is that you're wanting to move forward in, and whatever it is that you need to support you, that you're willing to receive. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here. Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
For women, the pressure to achieve is stronger, the work hours longer, and the struggle for respect and authority more complex than ever. You want guidance on how to succeed, and you are not alone. You're invited to take your coffee break with Game Changers on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for our special series, Game Changing Women. Powerful women leaders will help you make sense of it all, analyze how you can change the game, and share their playbooks. Game Changing Women, presented by SAP on the Business Channel.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. I encourage you throughout our show today to build those muscles, build that practice of giving yourself 2 minutes to process, to share. You can build that throughout your life. It makes a powerful difference when we can pause for a minute or two and then choose our next step, our next action with purpose and on purpose. So I invite you to build that into your life and certainly encourage you to do that throughout the show. You'll have multiple opportunities for that. But as we come back together, I wanted to shift into a deeper conversation with one of our experts today. And you've heard a little bit of her heart and her focus that she just had laid on her heart about love in our opening segment. But I wanted you to also know some of her formal background so you know the expertise from which she is speaking. So let me give you just a little bit more information about Sandy Zelds. She is a #1 best-selling author, conscious entrepreneur with a 17-year career as a chef and caterer to high-profile celebrities, many of which you would know their names, and a top business leader. She likes to consider herself a rebel expert nutritionist and is also an EFT practitioner. She is passionate about helping people get unstuck and move forward in a powerful way. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Sandy Zelds to the show. Welcome.
Yay. Thank you, Rebecca. That was sweet.
You're welcome. Yay. We celebrate that you are here today and joining us. And you. I love to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of helping people get unstuck so important to you? That you dedicate so much time and energy and resources to this. Why is this work personally so important to you?
That's a big question, and we could spend the whole day talking about it, but I'll give you a short answer. It's because I see it as such a problem, and it's a sort of unspoken problem amongst a lot of successful, empowered, really strong women struggling with food. And I realized it wasn't just a couple people here and there. It wasn't, just me and my past and everyone I knew. It was all of my clients. And I got really, really passionate because I saw it as kind of an issue for our times, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I get fired up about that. So I'll add one thing to that. And
sure.
I'll keep it really brief, but I see it as personal empowerment. And how we keep ourselves stuck sometimes is by focusing on food in our bodies. And so when my clients and myself and everybody kind of drops that issue and makes it obsolete, we are more empowered in the world. And it's really amazing. It's a very amazing shift.
I love this. Awesome. And why do you care so much personally about it? What does it do for you to be able to help people, in a sense, shift their focus and show up in such an empowered way? Just curious.
Honestly, I think it just inspires me to no end, to see what everybody's capable of. It's like we just dust off the mirrors, and everybody has stuff, gunk on our mirrors or on the windows or whatever. And it's just a matter of cleaning it off. And it's very, very inspiring to see what people do. A lot of my clients are, executives and doing big things in the world, making big difference in the world. Philanthropists and authors and, spiritual women. They're just really changing the world, and it's inspiring. I think that's the main reason. And I have some personal reasons, but I don't know if we have time to get into that deeper personal issues that have to do with me and my mother, of course, and things like that.
Sure.
That inspires me.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and what a beautiful gift to be inspired by the people that you are supporting and celebrating. To me, that's just a really beautiful circle and cycle, and that there's also that personal connection and drive that makes this work so powerful for you and your experiences that you had that you just touched on a little bit. And I appreciate that, because when we have something that not only inspires us, but also has a deep personal connection, I believe we can really support people powerfully in the work that we do. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And you touched on this observation that you had that so many women, especially powerful women, are struggling with their body image, and they can struggle with weight and kind of get stuck in that, or their relationship with food. Why do you believe that is? Why do you think we get so caught up in that?
So many reasons. I used to think it was mostly cultural, and I do think that there's a piece, obviously, of, that has to do more, though, with, in my view, kind of a political issue. In other words, women were some of the first generations to get out there in the workforce and kind of express ourselves in a new way. So I think there's that piece. And this is kind of a backlash against ourselves. And so there's the piece that is. And then there's the personal piece. People are going to react to the culture in different ways based on their inner world, really, and their inner stress and trauma and experiences. And so what I've discovered is there's these invisible, if you will, barriers that people have that have to do with past stress, current stress, and childhood trauma, or just beliefs, things that happen to us, and they all play a part in this issue.
And is there a tip or a suggestion or way, especially if we have some of those deep-rooted things, perhaps culturally or our own personal backgrounds, that can perhaps be working against us despite our best intentions? And is there a way to shift through some of that where perhaps we keep finding we come up against this wall or there's certain plateau, and it's almost like there are forces working against us? So can you share a little bit about that?
That is, everything you just said is what all my, everybody tells me. Okay, so it's absolutely universal. That feels like forces working against you. It's like barriers, invisible barriers. And yeah, there's definitely ways to work with it. And I started out working with food, of course. I'm passionate about food and in every way, and nutrition. I'm like an encyclopedia of nutrition. And I was all excited to help people with that. And I realized very, very quickly that it's really not about the food. And it's very easy to make changes once you're activated, once you're motivated internally, and not just with willpower in your brain. It's got to come from within. And so the way I work with it, the answer to your question is yes, there's a way, but it's a much deeper way. And it has to do with the subconscious mind. And, that's where everything happens. So that's the approach I take now. I start with just dealing with what's showing up. So if someone feels stuck, there's a good reason usually. They just don't know what it is. It's unconscious. Does that answer your question?
That does. And so it sounds like to me that a lot of the things that we're seeing that are kind of showing up are actually being driven by the subconscious level. Like there's stuff going on there, and that you're actually able to get in and help people on the subconscious level that will make those shifts and changes with more ease by really tackling where a lot of that, I've heard that like 90% of it is there in that subconscious 90%, area.
Absolutely true. I think that almost everything for most people, especially if you're struggling with something like that, like addictive cravings, emotional eating, stress eating, obsession, the mental obsession with food, there's definitely a lot going on out of your awareness. And I don't say this from theory. I've seen this over and over and over. And so if someone wants to change this issue, the first thing I say is you've got to stop making it about food. Don't try another diet. Don't do a cleanse. Don't even talk about food. Focus on the emotions and find someone to help you to really, really dive in to a deeper level. It's not just talking about our stress. I've noticed that does not do it. It's because the threads go deep. Yeah. Do I have time to give you one example?
Well, actually, we're about to go to a commercial break, so it's gone.
Okay,
So we'll try to work that in later. So there's a cliffhanger, everybody. Something we're gonna try to work in later. But I love what you're sharing, because to me, there's a lot of judgment that can go into this too, and we can beat ourselves up and get very frustrated, or we lack willpower. And I think it's beautiful to understand there's actually something underneath that may be going on that you can get support on that will shift and ease all of that. And Sandy is an expert in helping people do that. And in that line, I know that she's prepared an amazing gift, and we have just about 30 seconds. Do you mind sharing very quickly a little bit about your gift?
I'll try to do it in 30 seconds. So I'll give you the short version, and the rest I know you have a link where people can read about it. But basically what I do in this free gift is help you to identify any unconscious causes, that are keeping an issue with food in place. And, subsequently weight, usually for people up and down. Some people are underweight, but the focus on weight. What to do about it, basically. The call is all designed around where to look, how to find the unconscious stress, what to do about it, and the tools I use to help people.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for making this generous gift available, and I love how it ties into what you're sharing. So, listeners, if you were feeling a pull at your heart, and maybe that is going on, I love how Sandy's gift is going to help and support you in digging into that on a little deeper level and actually get some support in that area. We're going to go to our next commercial break. It just goes so quickly, our time together. And I encourage you to really process some of what Sandy has shared with you, and also what's being spoken into your heart and spirit. And perhaps it's not food, but there are other areas that you're feeling that same kind of pattern getting stuck, and that perhaps it really is at that deeper level, and that you can get support there. Towards the end of the show, I will let you know how to access Sandy's gift. We want to make sure you stay fully present with us and don't get distracted. So enjoy these next 2 minutes just for you, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Relationship issues? Anxious? Parenting challenges? No more. Learn to live your best life. Tune into Straight Talk with top therapist, relationship, and anxiety expert Sandra Reish. Learn to transform your challenges into effective solutions. Whether it's relationships, parenting, anxiety, or other traps, Sandra will show you how you can live the life of your dreams. Listen live every Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel. Do you find yourself working tirelessly to keep your business going? Are you finding out that you don't have time for family, friends, any kind of personal life whatsoever? It's time to stop feeling trapped by your business. Tune in to Reclaim Your Freedom with host Shirley Dalton. You'll hear from guests that will help you work on your business instead of constantly in your business and get your life back while the business keeps running and humming. Reclaim Your Freedom airs live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. U.S. Pacific Time on Voice America Business.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation. Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you, that you got to really sink into exploring. Are you struggling? Are you feeling a little bit stuck, particularly in your relationship with food? And I hope that you were encouraged and inspired, as I was, that perhaps there's something deeper going on that you can actually get support and move that forward instead of being stuck, which is really powerful. So we'll let you know how to access that amazing gift towards the end of the show. But now we're actually shifting over to looking at communication, because I think it's very important. If we're going to shine in the world, we want to become unstuck. So we've talked about that. And then we want to be able to connect and communicate powerfully with others. So our next expert is just has a rich history and experience in the world of communication. So Jean Alford is soon to be a best-selling author in a forthcoming book, Bloom Where You're Planted and Shine. So we're excited to have her as one of our co-authors. And she is what I like to think of as a communication strategist. That she has this rich background that includes directing national and international public affairs and relation programs and campaigns. So for several brands that you'll recognize, including Dolby, Philips Electronics, and Visa. And there's many, many more. She's also worked with high-profile Silicon Valley leaders and experts as well. She is passionate about helping business leaders share their stories and communicate powerfully. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Jean Alford to the show. Welcome.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm so happy to be here.
Excited to have you. I had both hands in the air as we celebrate you being here today. So welcome. Well, you have this long, rich history in communication. Do you mind sharing why that is personally a mission and so important to you that you spend so much time and energy to help others in bringing this forward? Why is that work so important to you?
I would say it started at a very young age. I'm the middle child of 7. And as the roles go, I ended up being the diplomat. And as I got into school government and represented my class in school government. So I found myself in that communications role very early on. And I find it fascinating helping others learn how to tell their story and to kind of get through the detritus and the distractions. It's very exciting to see that because we all have a story to tell and we all have a purpose to be here.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that you kind of grew up doing this and being the diplomat and communicating back and forth, and that you have such a passion and love for helping others step into a space where they're able to tell their story and communicate powerfully and effectively. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Some people may be saying, well, I'm not a public relations person. I'm not a business leader. So why is it important for us, all of us, to think about our daily communication and be aware of that? Why is that important for all of us?
It's always been important, and even more so with today's social media. We communicate every second of the day, whether it's verbally or non-verbally. In fact, Sandy's fact that 90% of issues are subconscious really tracks well with 90% of our communication is nonverbal. 10% of our communication comes from words. So we are communicating always. And typically we're reacting or we're just sort of floating through or we're in the world of distractions. So we're not effectively communicating. When we're thinking about texting, we send something quick off and it may not get the point across. I got a text recently from a friend and it basically said, "What are you up to?" I know this friend well, so I know that he was asking if I was free to meet him for dinner because he was commuting and I knew there was a traffic jam, and that's our pattern. But he didn't say, "Are you free for dinner?" So we need to start thinking about what it is that we're communicating, what we want to accomplish with that we become more effective. Whether it's tweeting, Facebooking, whispering to our friend across the table, and dare I say, talking face-to-face.
And can I love what you're sharing. I think this is really powerful because you're correct. I mean, so many of us are communicating in lots of different ways, but maybe not saying directly what we mean. But can you also talk about this 90%, like this other way that we're communicating? Is it what's being said in between the words? Is it how we're moving or what we're not saying? I mean, what is that 90%?
Well, is there a D, all of the above?
Yes, D, all of the above is great.
The words that we use, if you take an email and you just put words down, "You are beautiful." I read it, and I'm in a bad mood. I see, "Oh, she's saying I'm beautiful." I don't take it in. But if you say it to me, you have tone of voice and expression in your face. And you say, "You are beautiful." And I'm kind of forced to take it in because it's coming at me through nonverbal communication as well as the verbal communication. So we have tone of voice. We have micro expressions on our face that we don't even notice because we're that good at seeing it nearly subconsciously. It's like there's posture. If you walk into a meeting and everybody's slouching, you pretty much know that they're not connected to the meeting. But if they're all sitting up straight and they've got their hands ready to start putting notes into the computer or taking notes on their pad, because there's still some people who do that, you know that they're ready for that meeting. And that's conveyed non-verbally. We see it, we absorb it, and there's also energetic communication. How you're feeling kind of telegraphs before you even enter the room, if you will.
Thank you for sharing this, because it isn't just the words. It's interesting, and I work a lot in the speaking world, and we talk about this too, that it's not just the content, what you share, but it's how you share it. Are you actually connecting? Are you making eye contact? Are you leaning in? Are they leaning into you when you're speaking and connecting? And so I love that you're sharing this, that even before we enter the room, our energy, in a sense, can be felt. And we can come into a room and really observe how people are engaging or not engaging. Like, there's so much information being shared throughout all of our days. And I love this because I'm all about purposefulness. So I love us taking a moment to pause and think about, like you were saying, before you send that text or that message, what are you conveying? What are you really wanting to say? And then perhaps make sure to say that with purpose. So beautiful. Now, how do you help people with their story? I know that's something you're passionate about, helping people with their communication. So perhaps they're not as aware, or like your friend asking for dinner but didn't really say that. How can people start to step in and be more clear in their communication?
Oh, first you need to measure what's out there already. So I like to do an assessment with my clients, looking at what are they saying about themselves in social media, on their websites, how they present themselves in the real world materials like brochures and such, and seeing if it's parallel. A lot of times what I find is there are conflicting messages coming through. You might be saying something and being a certain personality in your social media, but much more formal in your regular printed materials, and that's a disconnect. And your customers or potential customers will see that. So we look at how are you continually talking about yourself, how to realign that, and then I like to dig into what is that story, what is that message, because a lot of times the story that you want to tell is probably not your own, because we're told stories our whole life that parents tell us something, teachers tell us something, we internalize it, we believe it, and then we turn around and reinterpret it and say it from our point of view as if it's real. And it may not be real. It may be something that's blocking you because you don't believe you're good enough, for example. That's a typical message that a lot of us carry with us because of whatever experiences we've had. But when you start to dig into the story, I can see through it because I'm not you, the client. Just as the client sees through the stories that I use and sometimes adds clarity to what I'm doing because I may not be aware of it. And these are those subconscious stories that I like to say come from the committee. And the committee is those voices in your head that continually repeat things.
And Jean, I'm so sorry to interject here or cut you off because we are going to get ready to go to our commercial break, and you've given us so much rich content to process. And I just want to reiterate a little bit of it so that as we go into our break, that our guests, our listeners are really able to process this. And I love how things are tied together on this subconscious level, and even being aware that that could be driving our communication and, in a sense, flavoring it in a way that isn't in alignment with what we necessarily want to bring forward or what we necessarily want to be conveying or being in the world. So it's great to check in and be aware of this. And I love the examples you shared about looking for that alignment or looking for a disconnect, because that'll be great indication that perhaps something's going on there that could then be fine-tuned so there's more consistent communication going out. Now, I know that you have prepared an amazing gift, and I want to make sure we share about that. So if you can share in about 30 seconds so we let our listeners know what they can be leaning into.
Well, I have a ebook that's chock filled with great advice and the secret sauce, if you will, for better and more effective communications. Got some tools and some examples and some worksheets that people can use to help improve their communication, but more importantly, how they plan it and how they can do it in the time of a breath, taking that a deep breath to get in alignment before they communicate.
Wonderful. Let's take a breath together. I love that. And that you've provided a tool to help us in our communication, because it would be, just to me, it's making the world a better place when we can have stronger communication and stronger, more clear connection. So I love the work that you do. Thank you for your amazing gift. And listeners, as we go into this next commercial break, I invite you to think about, just do a little check-in on your communication. And are you pausing and being purposeful in how you're responding or what you're sending out there? And do you see if there's an alignment, or are you able to see? It's great to kind of check in on our own communication. When we come back, I will let you know how to access the amazing gifts that we shared with you about today, because I want to make sure you're able to lean into all that is being offered. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that commercial break, those 2 minutes just for you, and that you've gotten some encouragement on your journey, that you've gotten some insight and ideas and some suggestions, some things that you can take forward with you real time to empower you on your journey, to help you become unstuck, to increase your communication and connections and shine powerfully in the world. We are at our closing segment. This time goes so quickly, and appreciate you all sharing and connecting with us here today. And I wanted to invite us all to take a breath together, pausing, and purposely leaning into connection here together, real time. as I've asked each of my guests to share a final tip, suggestion, or thought, or something that they just have on their heart to help you as you go back out into the world. And as they're putting those thoughts together, I want to let you know how to access the gifts that we shared about earlier today. So Sandy's gift and Jean's gift, you go to Radio Gifts, and that's plural with an S, radiogifts.net, a net full of multiple gifts. You enter in your name and email address so we can stay in touch. And then you will scroll down to today's date, which is Tuesday, June 13th. That's when we're live broadcasting and producing the show. So Tuesday, I keep jumping ahead, Tuesday, June 13th, and you'll see Sandy's picture and Jean's picture, and you can lean in, click, and say yes to their amazing gifts. We have this library of resources for you. You'll find some gifts from me as well, because we want you to have the same access to the experts like I do. We want you to have that support, that they can walk beside you. So as you leave us today and you go back out into the world, you actually have tools and resources to walk beside you. So I encourage you to lean into radiogifts.net and say yes to as many as will support, encourage, and inspire you. So write that down, radiogifts.net. And then I'd love to turn the floor over to Sandy and Jean. I'm going to invite them each to do a final tip or share with you. So Sandy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I think what I'd like to leave them with is if anybody's struggling with emotional eating or, kind of sabotage with their health and food habits, just know that it's usually the tip of the iceberg. It's not your fault, and there's no shame and blame in it. I say this over and over because people come to me and they're beyond frustrated and think there's something wrong with them, and there's not. There's a lot under that tip of the iceberg. It's a tip of the iceberg issue, and people just don't realize, I think, how much is under there. All of us, we're all the same. We all have a subconscious mind, and I want to give a very quick example of how that works. One of my clients was in the fridge, just found herself in the fridge, 20 years of this habit, couldn't stop, was going on diets and trying everything. And, of course, that wasn't the issue. And when we started working together on the subconscious causes and the behavioral stuff that was happening, there were layers and layers going on for her. It were so many layers that we went through, and all of it came down to core beliefs from childhood. It was very fascinating, and it took unwinding from the unconscious mind. And then, of course, food was no longer an issue. This was after a couple of weeks, a few months.
And Sandy, I'm so sorry, but I want to make sure Jean gets an opportunity too before the show closes. So anyway,
that's the point, yeah.
Oh, I love that. And you were able to help her unwind and move forward. Beautiful. Thank you. And Jean, what is on your heart to share with our listeners?
It's a simple phrase, be intentional. Taking that moment to be present and to ask yourself what it is I want to accomplish before we start to communicate can make an enormous difference in how we come across, how confident we are, and how effective we can be. So be intentional was the phrase that popped into my head. And I say it must have popped in from the universe.
I love that all around the globe. So be intentional. Beautiful share. Thank you so much, both of you. And listeners, I appreciate you joining in, and I hope you've gotten, this is just a tip of the iceberg, as we've been saying, and Sandy and Jean have been saying, of the support that you can get in these areas to help you become unstuck and really move forward, be equipped and empowered to live on purpose and with intention. So I invite you to lean into the resources, tap into these amazing experts. You can hear their heart, their wisdom, and their passion to help you be unstuck, to help you powerfully communicate and shine in your life. And on my heart, as you go back out into the world, I invite you to remember to pause, to take these breaths, to focus in and check in on, are you moving forward in those areas that matter most to you? And it is not a solo journey. Be willing to lean into those tools and resources that can walk beside you. So I invite you to go to radiogifts.net, lean into those amazing gifts. And as you go back out into the world, I want to remind you that you are beautifully and wonderfully made, needed exactly as you are for just a time as this. That wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always, always be willing to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Griter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.